You are tuned into the Green Hornet Case Files, a beacon of truth in a world shrouded in mystery. Unveiling the legacy and cultural significance of one of the greatest crime fighters of all time. Now, let the adventure begin. Here are your hosts, Kory and Greg.
That's us.
Yeah, that is us, or it's at least one of us.
It's an amalgam of you.
Don't let me get to coughing here. It has been a wild couple of weeks for me. I came down with bronchitis, week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago now. And bronchitis is just something that kind of runs in me. And I always wind up losing my voice. All the years I was on radio, it just whatever, it just goes.
It's the radio equivalent of pulling a hammy.
Yeah, it definitely is. I don't know how many radio shows that I've done that sound like this, and people are like, "Oh, you're creepy sounding."
I don't know if you were a Friends fan of the sitcom Friends. There's an episode where Phoebe gets sick, and she goes to sing at the coffee shop anyway, and she's got this like husky, sultry voice going on. And then she gets better, and she's like, "Damn it, I need my voice back."
Yeah, usually as I start getting into this, it drops. You know, my voice will drop, and I already have a deep voice, but it will tend to drop. You know, half an octave or so. And I always call up my people that I do voice work for and go, "If you want it the best it can be, send me a script now."
You're like, "I'm currently in my Keith David phase."
That's right. I can handle whatever you throw at me. Let's do it now.
So live from the tuberculosis ward,
here we are.
Here
we are. Hey, a couple of newsy kind of things real quick. Yesterday, this is dropping on Thursday. So yesterday, Wednesday or Tuesday, this last
the first day of Ramadan.
Might have been. I don't think that has anything to do with Bruce Lee stamps, but it might. Yeah. Hey, man.
Everybody, they got their religions having a thing. We got ours. It's fine.
That's right. If you heard us talking about the Bruce Lee stamps, they are officially available now on the United States Postal Service website or at your local post office. If your post office has a bit of a philatelic window, sometimes
you're like, "Oh, you know what? I got an extra $5 today. I'm going to spend it on this word."
I'm going to, yes, and I just did. I'm a stamp collector. I've been a stamp collector since I was a kid. I love stamps. So I'm placing my order this evening.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
So I might send you a letter with a Bruce Lee stamp on it.
I will gladly not open it. Just
there you go.
On the wall.
There you go. Had a note from our friend Todd this last 2 weeks ago, I guess, after we did the last pairing, coupling. What do we call that? Team ups.
Yeah.
Team ups. Yeah. He kind of gave us a little crap because I'd forgotten that he'd sent us an email. He says, quote, "Last year." And of course, my initial reaction was, "Oh, crap.
Oh, man.
Last year, I sent an email suggesting a couple of crossovers with other radio shows that I believe would have been cool to listen to." And he was thinking of Mannix. Mannix?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Might be kind of an interesting crossover.
I can see that.
Yeah. He says, "Imagine what Lalo Schifrin could have done with an arrangement of Flight of the Bumblebee. Dum, 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 boom."
That'd be dope, actually. I love that. Thank you, Todd. That's a good one.
Yeah. And then, of course, he says, just as a side note, a crossover would have been to have had the Lone Ranger. And did we talk about Gunsmoke? No, we didn't.
That could have been cool, too.
Lone Ranger and Tonto and Marshall Dillon and Miss Kitty.
I'm all about that.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it. So go ahead.
I was on a crazy Western kick. And like I would have it was going heavy, and it moved into Star Trek. Like that's all I'm watching anymore for going on probably a month now. If I have free time, that's what's on is Star Trek. And
really?
And then I was like, I really do watching the original series into Next Gen, into Deep Space Nine. Like you forget about the wagon train origins.
Yeah. Wagon train to space.
Yeah.
To the stars.
I don't know. That's what made me think of was with Gunsmoking. I was like, yeah, that's how I got to Star Trek.
That actually ties into one other little piece of news. It's not really news. It's just, something that happened this last weekend. As we've talked on here, I have a Ghostbuster group here in town, and you are a part of that. And we had a local con. It's been around for 30-some years. RadCon.
It's pretty rad.
It is pretty rad. And their guest writer this year was a guy named David. I have tribbles in my socks. Gerald.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And
I'm bummed I didn't go.
It was actually really cool to run into David because I met David many years ago at Comic-Con in San Diego when I was doing my Roddenberry dive team thing.
Yeah.
And David would come by the booth and we talked just a little bit, but obviously, it's been 20-some years and he didn't remember. But I do have to say this, and again, this is not Green Hornet related in any way, shape, or form, but as we are sitting there chatting, and I did a nice little interview with David for the folks at RadCon, with this voice, by the way.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, and I was wearing my Ghostbuster outfit, and he goes, I wrote 2 episodes of the real Ghostbusters cartoon.
Did he really?
I'm like, what? So before he left, before the show was over, we wound up getting David over to our booth and having, all of our guys take a picture with David Gerald because of that lovely little crossover.
Awesome. That is so cool.
Didn't know it. Didn't know it at all. So
I'm so bummed I didn't go.
Yeah, well.
So bummed.
One of those things.
Oh my! Well, right. While we're talking about the things that are tangential to us and our podcast, I want to take a moment to shamelessly promote Ranking with Roddenberry.
Thank you.
Go on YouTube, check out Ranking with Roddenberry. I've watched all of them a couple of times now, and Greg here has a little hand in that. So please go check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. Jessica, the young lady that does the show, she's awesome. She's fun. She's got a great depth of knowledge of Trek, if you're a Trek fan. And and I do a little something along with the show. So I appreciate that. That's nice.
It's awesome. It's good. It's real good. I like it.
It is a lot of fun. I know we've talked comic books. We've talked comic books a number of times about Green Hornet.
We're comic nerds.
We are comic nerds. But I wanted to kind of do a little bit more of a deep dive, maybe more towards the Dynamite end of things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe mainly because it's what's there right now. And if you're looking for comics, they're easy to find. A lot of the now comics are more difficult to find. The earlier varieties of the Harvey and some of those they're starting to get difficult to find.
Right.
So, you can really get your hands on basically all the Dynamite stuff. So I kind of wanted to dig in a little deeper now on that, letting everybody know, of course, that, Ron Fortier and Jeff Butler did an incredible series, with the Now comics.
Now, yeah.
And if you want to go back and check out our interviews with those two guys, by all means, I'll try and put a link or something in the show notes here so that you can go find those.
And speaking of the Dynamite, don't forget our interview with Phil.
Yeah, by all means.
Phil Hester. So
yeah, give me half a moment to hydrate, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. So this whole thing about diving into the comics is, like I said, it's a deep love for both Greg and I. We're both really into comics, and maybe not always the comics that everybody else are into. And so Hornet hit that for me when Kevin Smith did the run. Kevin Smith had just come off of Green Arrow when the Dynamite run came out, and he had just nailed Green Arrow, and rolls out with Britt and Kato, and it was just a lightning rod. It was so cool to see it back in the zeitgeist, even if it was kind of fleeting. It didn't last quite as long as I'd hoped, but it was incredible.
Their run, to me, captures more of the essence, the feel of like the 66 show.
Yeah.
And
well, you could tell that there was an actual depth of knowledge and care for the character.
Yeah. There definitely was. The twist, that obviously, came in later was, changing Kato to, Kato was still there, but Kato was, had moved on, in ages and so forth, and bringing in Mulan Kato. I always thought that was kind of a really intriguing way of doing that.
Oh, it was so good too. They handled it so deftly. It was phenomenal, in which you kind of riffed on that for Requiem.
Yeah, we did. We played with that idea of Kato's old or gone. We kind of left that wide open with that in our little short film. And then brought in, a young woman who was going to wind up becoming the Green Hornet. Whereas, Britt Reed would have then become, as an aged man, would have become Kato and at least driven the car. Yeah. Because he never got to drive the car. Come on.
That was just your own fantasy fulfillment there, wasn't it?
It kind of was. Yeah. Just let me drive the car, okay? You can sit in the back and do what you want to do. So you look at the show, or the Dynamite Comics, and we can talk, and then we have at length about Kevin's show that was going to be the movie. The script then obviously became this run, but there are so many other layers to the Dynamite that I kind of wanted to get into here, and. Yeah, I probably have to say that Kevin's run of the Green Hornet, probably about my favorite. But if you haven't read the Green Hornet Year One that was written by Matt Wagner.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
You gotta find it and jump into it, because it's the origin story retell set back in the 30s. And talks about, Britt Reed becoming Green Hornet. And
Wagner was fresh off of Zorro Year One.
Yeah.
At that point. And so he was fresh in that origin story era.
Mm-hmm. And, artist Aaron Campbell came along and nailed, that whole 1930s feel. He just did a fabulous job. Alex Ross actually wound up doing some of the covers.
Oh my God, they're so gorgeous.
And they are just absolutely fantastic.
See, those are the ones that every time I go to a con, I'm hoping to find a print.
Yeah.
Of those. I know they're not super, super out there, but man, I want one bad.
There was there was a group then, they jumped into this weird sort of thing. And I have to be honest and say some of the Dynamite runs I don't care for.
Really?
They got a little odd with some of the one-offs.
The like when they put him in the bug suit.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
That was Green Hornet Strikes, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Then they did what was it? Something Lights. What was the name of that thing? I have to go and look it up here. And it just is like, seriously, this is where there's an alien baby.
Yeah.
That, the Hornet is trying to, it's like, huh? Where did that one come from?
Yeah, it was not the best.
Not the absolute best that I've ever seen. Skylights is what the title of that one was.
Oh, yeah.
And, there was Aftermath. There was a run of 4 episodes called Aftermath. 4 episodes of issues of Blood Ties. There was a run, as my voice is starting to lose it here. There was a run called Not My Father's Daughter. That was, very, very Kato, Mulan Kato centric. And, I like them. There was also one that was One Night in Bangkok.
Yeah, I haven't read that one.
Haven't read that one. That was about a year and a half ago, maybe just about or just before we started doing the show.
Okay.
I don't even see that I have most of these. I've acquired most of these as a digital to be able to keep them all on my iPad, and that way I can just quickly grab and start checking it out.
Did you ever read Parallel Lives, the one that was like kind of the prequel to the Rogan movie?
I did. Different kind of a story. Trying to bring it up, right now. That was written by and oddly enough, I didn't know this guy. I didn't know who this was. And I don't know if it's Jay or Jai, Jai, Nitz. And he's like 50 years old, and he's went to the University of Kansas in Lawrence, Kansas, which I would know because
what do you know? What do you know about that?
Yeah, what do I know about that? So this is some guy, we may have to pull out and say, okay, let's talk just a little bit.
Let's get him on, man.
And it's an interesting tale. There was a point where, he pulls a young kid into the thing. And I think the young kid maybe is an early Kato, if I can remember. I can't remember the story very well. But a couple of these guys bring in these other oddball superhero-ish characters. And I never quite understood, who and what, they were supposed to be. They were trying to fight alongside of Kato and the Green Hornet.
Yeah.
And I just never quite understood, what the point was. It was part of the story, obviously, but interesting take on how some of these characters, got involved. And again, these are all one-offs. So, right. You read 4 episodes or whatever, and you go on from there,
and off you do go.
Yeah. And then you probably haven't read the Amy Chu Green Hornet.
No.
And Amy Chu, I'm going to see if I can find Amy, and I know Amy's friends with some mutual friends, so I'm going to reach out to her. But Amy did a run of the Green Hornet where the Hornet was actually Britt Reed's daughter.
Really?
So the Hornet became a woman. So, my little short film, wasn't original in its, but it focuses on, as most of them do, corporate corruption, tech age crime, other generational issues. But It was kind of an interesting one.
This is the Generations run?
Nah, this is just called Green Hornet.
Okay.
This is just called Green Hornet, and let me see if I can find what year that was done. Where is the Amy Chu? Amy Chu Chu Chu. There's been so many. Yeah, it was just called the Green Hornet. It was a 5-issue run. I'm not seeing a date on it.
2018.
2018. Okay.
Yeah. But so what I'm finding has it under as Green Hornet, but under the Green Hornet Generations cap is what I'm finding.
Yeah,
but this looks awesome.
There was this kind of twist where they sort of did that, where they said, okay, this is Generations, and it's several different things that came along through that. So if you haven't had a chance to get in and do a lot of reading on some of these stories, I mean, by all means, get to the comic book store or, whatever digital, means that you wind up with being able to find some of these.
Well, I mean, remember what Stanley said. But
yeah, that's exactly right. I'd rather hold them in my hand.
Correct.
Very much like something else.
I think we've referenced that more than once on the show.
I think we have, and we want to try and keep it as family as possible there. So
I've got a bit of a side quest here for just a second, a tangent.
I'll let you take it while I hydrate.
I am currently reading DC's new Absolute Batman. And if you haven't read it, it's probably the best Batman I've read in a long, long, long time. Scott Snyder is just tearing it up one side now.
Wow. Yeah.
And the reason for it is they've created this absolute universe. There's absolute Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Martian Manhunter, all of it. And they're just turning these tales on their head. And I mean, so Bruce is only a half orphan in this universe. His father was killed, but Martha lived.
Oh.
She wasn't even there when it happened. He is not a billionaire. He's a blue collar guy. He grows up with Oswald, Cobblepot, Selena Kyle, and Eddie Nigma, as he calls him. They were all friends in elementary school, and they grew up together. And it's this, they just turn it on its head. They keep everything, they keep all the ingredients, but it's a completely different mashup. And they've done the same thing with Superman. They've done the same thing with Wonder Woman, where they're coming at these characters from an all new angle. What do you think we could do Hornet-wise that wouldn't, while sticking to the ethos of the character and what is happening, but what do you think if we came at it from a completely different viewpoint?
That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. Whereas you would wind up in a situation where, like you just spoke there, he's not a millionaire, billionaire, whatever the case happens to be. Maybe he's not the publisher of the newspaper. That leads to a lot of different open roads. Right.
And you can come at it from all these different angles. It's fascinating to me, like this run that I really am stuck on it. This Absolute's incredible. But I was thinking about it while I was reading it is what if Kato was the benefactor? And the Black Mask of Kato was the villain that the Hornet was. Oh. And the Hornet was the supporting character.
Yeah.
But the story's still centered around him.
Interesting.
Like just kind of a different twist to visit upon it,
Well, now you got the brain going here. I may be up all night writing. I don't know.
It's just kind of like I said, this really kind of cracked the code, Because the problem is fatigue wise, this way, comics has been event fatigue forever and ever, right? Everything builds and gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then what do they got to do? To quote Ripley from Aliens, is we have to take off and nuke it from space. It's the only way to be sure.
Exactly.
And we start over.
And start over again. Yeah.
And they go up and they start over. And they go up and they start over. And that's what's happened with the Hornet as well. Like each time we have to go back to the beginning and make sure that everybody has the story.
One of the things that I have an issue with Hornet and story and so forth, and maybe saying taking an issue with is not exactly correct, but
a little harsher than you mean.
Yeah, is the fact that because of the fact that it was 1936 when it came out, and it was a product like most of those, a product of its times when corruption, mobs, those kind of things. That was what crime was. I mean, we didn't think about cyber crimes because we didn't have cyber, crimes. It was robbing a bank. It was, cheating somebody out of money for, whatever reason, cheating the government out of something.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking to put the Hornet into the Marvel universe where everything is so massive, that it's
cosmic.
Otherworldly is where I was going with the whole thing. But and that's where some of the comic books have done a fairly good job, is modernizing a little bit of the threat of
So following on that train of thought, are you familiar with the show called Mr. Robot?
No.
Okay, so it's a show about a hacker that is our misanthrope hero, right?
Right.
So to bring, what does the Hornet look like in this day and age? Which I know we've kind of dabbled into that.
Sure.
A few times, but what if that's where he gained his power? Was fighting corruption via cyber crimes, leaving behind, the sting behind the logo of becoming this, but still in the guise of a villain.
Interesting.
Like you could come at that from such a different angle, and it would be, a guy who runs, if you keep the threads, he runs a website, like a news website.
Right.
And that's where, it's still reporting on stuff, but at the same time, he's going in and knocking down the walls of, to be honest with you, I don't care what side you fall on, we are living in the most corrupt era in this nation's history,
across the board, pretty much. Yeah.
Right. Globally, the elite are horrible and really have very little regard for the little man. This is the time that the Hornet could come in a slightly modernized guise and really fight that corruption the same way he did in the 30s.
Almost a swing back to Origins in a weird sort of way. Yeah. With the modern twist. Yeah.
Absolute Green Hornet. Let's get on it.
I'm liking where you're going with that. I'm really liking that. We talked about crossovers with the last episode, and we talked crossovers before. And they have done most recently the Miss Fury crossover.
Run, yeah.
There was a crossover with the Spirit. There was one with Lone Ranger, which was fairly interesting. Obviously, Batman. In fact, I think there was a couple of them maybe with the Spirit. Not quite sure. And then there was Masks. Have you read the Masks series?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay, it's a team up. Now this is, and I think I alluded to this last episode. It's a team up between the Hornet, the Shadow, the Spider, Zorro, and a few others in Dynamite's pulp universe.
I don't recall you bringing that up because I think I would have remembered that. That sounds incredible.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty incredible run, written by Chris Robertson, and again Alex Ross doing some of the cover design along with Dennis Calero, and it just, it's nice to see these characters, make that kind of transition. And if you haven't had a chance to read that one, by all means,
I'm gonna have to get my hands on that one right
yeah
now. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, go check that one out. And then there was a split off, a bit of a fracture to Green Hornet and Kato, whereas writer Andy Parks took over and did Green Hornet and Kato for a little while, as well as Andy wound up writing the series Kato.
Yeah, Kato's own run, right.
Kato's own run. And then there was Kato Origins that was done by Jay Nitz. And just wonderful, wonderful stories that are told kind of without the Hornet.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a huge, we always get the backstory on the Hornet, but we don't get backstory on Kato. And both of those have done a fairly decent job of giving you plausible, backstories.
Well, and again, that kind of plays into the cultural lens in which you look at the stories, because as we know, in Hong Kong, the 66 Hornet was called the Kato Show.
The Kato Show, yeah.
Like that's how they went in, and then that went on and influenced Jet Li's Black Mask.
Yeah.
And I mean, they don't overtly say it, but it's quite obvious that that's what we're looking at.
Right.
And so it's kind of rad when that gets back to this side of the ocean and you get these Kato-centric stories, because again, so many of us come to the Hornet because of Bruce.
Oh yeah.
And that is just, I mean, it's such an important part of why we're still talking about it.
Get your Bruce Lee stamps now, by the way.
Yeah, go get them.
Yeah, go get them. Go get them. I don't know. I'd love to be a fly on the wall at Dynamite to see where, maybe this goes from here. I mean, again, the most recent we've seen was the One Night in Bangkok, which was done a year and a half ago, and then most recently Miss Fury.
Yeah.
And I have heard no other rumblings at this point about any other stories.
Maybe we should reach out to somebody at Dynamite.
Maybe not a bad idea.
That could be an interesting episode.
Yeah. There was one other little twist with our buddy Phil Hester, wrote a 5-issue run. Artist Jonathan Lowe wound up doing the artwork for it, called Green Hornet 66, which was a throwback. And I think that's where the Green Hornet 66 then went and met with Batman and the
66.
Spirit. Yeah.
Yes.
Where a lot of that came from.
That was around, I want to say 2015, 16, somewhere in there.
Could very well be. I don't have dates sitting here in front of me on a lot of this, but
I was still at the comic shop.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember when 66 started coming out in single issues, because I was all over that. So, it was before we started podcasting about it, but not just Green Hornet, just podcasting.
Yeah. Some of that went to, especially the Batman series with the Green Hornet, went to the Batman campside.
Yes.
And so if you're looking for other kind of Batman, Green Hornet, Batman, I'm campy, kind of thing, by all means, check out that series. If you want something a little more on the serious side, then go check out the Spirit or the Shadow. Those are some really, really good writes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell at this point the voice is starting to
fade out on you.
Is starting to fade out here. So if you lose me at some point, I'm still talking back here. Just keep going. I don't care. Doesn't
I think at that point we should probably give it a little bit. Let you rest it up a little bit, and we'll come back strong on the next episode.
I think so. Again, if you haven't had a chance to check out, some of these comics, by all means, and if you can find the original 1940, 1949 Hornet or later Harvey comics, by all means, check those out.
Well, there are reprintings too of the Harvey runs, the Golden Age Hornet comics. There are collected editions of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
And those were written, originally by Stryker and Trendle, with that whole thing. So if you're looking for original source kind of material, and of course, a lot of it, there were variations. The Green Hornet fights crime. There was Racket Buster, and they all took on those same topics that we talked about: the corruption and racketeering and all those kind of things. And there was a run or two, maybe 3, 4, that were very war-driven, wartime, Nazi, that kind of story. That was obviously very, very primed and proper for the 1940 time period.
And I'm very pro fight Nazis, so that's a good run. That's a good era for me.
I like that. Yeah. And then, as we mentioned, Ron and Jeff and so many of the others that put the Now comic runs together, get a chance to check those out. I love reading them. Sometimes they feel a little dated, but at the same time, you have to remember what years, these things were written in.
Yeah. And, sometimes the dated part's the good part.
Yeah.
You lean back on stuff that's not the same anymore. I like the nostalgia of that stuff, especially I don't know, you just references hit a little different, things like that.
Yeah.
But it's if we kind of circling back on when I was talking about changing things up and modernizing, if you have any ideas along those lines, shoot them to us, please. Podcast at greenhornet66.com.
Yeah, and by all means, the silly little message of like, subscribe, and comment that does help. I used to kind of laugh every time I'd hear a podcaster, say, hit that bell, subscribe and hit the like button, and no, you do fine.
You're out there.
Yeah, it really and truly does let us, especially if you comment. If you say something, boy, Greg really sucks this week. At least it's a comment. I know that you're out there and you're listening, and we do appreciate that.
I want to see one email of somebody that was like, I bought stamps, and that's it. Nothing else.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I have to buy the collectible bit first, and then I have to go buy a sheet of stamps so that I can use them.
Right.
Because, I don't want to use my other stamps. It's not going to happen. So I appreciate you guys sticking around, guys and gals sticking around for the rest of this. There was one other little piece that I saw, just side news. I just now happened to think about this. I saw on the Batman 66 Green Hornet forum that it's not the Matchbox car. The new Black Beauty that they're coming out with.
Ooh, the model.
The little diecast.
Oh, I didn't know there was a diecast. I thought we were talking. I know the model was coming out in next month.
That's the one. I believe that they've pushed that off for another month or two. Let me pop this open here real quick and see if I can before we wrap things up and get out of here. The Corgi Black Beauty,
yes,
is being shoved off till April sometime. So, yeah,
but sure. There's the diecast one coming.
Yeah, that's the Corgi. The
Corgi is the diecast.
The diecast.
I'm following now.
Yeah. So, it looks like, if you're looking for a little something to add to your collection, you be sure and check that out, and go out to Corgi, is it Corgi.com or something like that? I don't know.
Visit your local hobby store, see if they'll get it for you.
There, exactly. And if you feel sorry for me enough and you want to buy us a cup of coffee, be sure and stop by ko-fi.com/Green Hornet Case Files. I'm not going to try and say it these days.
To be fair, you need tea.
I do, and I have drank so much tea. You know what it's called after you drink that much tea?
Pee?
It's called a teepee. Yeah, that's right.
I had a cherry blossom tea today that was just so good.
It sounds lovely.
Nice lunchtime.
Maybe time for me to go have a little tea and then probably another pee. So we go from there.
As long as it's not too late, so you don't have to get up after the tea.
That's another long story. I'll tell you later. Okay.
It's a story for another time.
It is a story for another time, my friend.
On that note, I'm going to go ahead and say, let's roll.
As the night envelops the city once more, our journey through the hidden alleys of history and valor comes to a close. You've been riding shotgun with the Green Hornet Case Files, where the echoes of the past meet the voices of the present. Tune in again for the next thrilling adventure, where shadows speak, secrets unfold, and the legacy of the Green Hornet continues to inspire. The Green Hornet Case Files is a Grail Productions podcast. The Green Hornet is owned exclusively by Green Hornet, Inc. Until next time, vigilant listeners, keep your wits sharp and your spirit unbreakable.